What's up, guys? It's your boy Sai with yet another episode of the Tech Convo Podcast, where we get to discuss tech that empowers you. We get to see how tech empowers Zambia, and we discuss it from different standpoints. Now, with me here is my co-host Chins. I'm just going to let him introduce himself. I know I've already said his name, but he's just going to introduce himself, and then from there we have our host, our guest for today, who is also going to introduce himself after Chims.
Yes. Hi guys, how are you doing? Hope everyone is good today. So, like Simon said, today we have a guest here with us who is Kondwani. I'm not going to introduce myself. We've done so many episodes. I don't even know if an introduction is worth it at this point. Yeah, but we have a guest with us, Kondwani Nyirenda, who is the current CEO of Uniplex AI. I'll just let him introduce himself as well so that he tells us a little bit about himself and what he does. So, welcome to the Tech Convo Podcast.
Thank you very much for having me. So once again, I'm Kondwani Nyirenda. Yes, I am a Google developer expert in AI and a CEO at Uniplex AI. And basically what we do at Uniplex AI is that we use AI to automate business workflows so that businesses can operate in a more efficient and effective way. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah.
Yes, so you've heard it. They automate business workflows. So depending on whatever business that you do, AI does it for you.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. Now that's what he does. He's told us what he does, right? Now what we want to do now is we want to get to know him better. And so what I'll ask you, Mr. Kondwani, is for you to tell us a brief background, not a brief, get into the details. Because what you want to do is learn from you. What we want to do is get something that will apply out there.
Yeah.
That someone that's listening out there can listen to and just apply in real life and also relate to. So if there are any real life stories that you'd like to bring out, please feel free and bring them out.
My tech, I think I'll talk about my tech history and my background. I think it started back in high school. I was doing jets.
Okay.
Yes, I was very much interested in jets. I was creating aircrafts that can eject seats because I think I've always been driven with like solving a problem. Like you're talking about the aircraft ejecting a seat, is that I was actually watching National Geographic and then a plane crashed.
Yes.
And I was kind of touched. I'm like, so people just died like that. Is there any solution? So it didn't have a lot of engineering background, so I just thought maybe ejecting a seat would actually work. So I presented that. I ended up going at the district level.
Yeah.
Came out the second. That was like the first time me doing jets.
Okay.
I think the third time I did something to kind of extract the gases from a factory where you're converting carbon dioxide to maybe sodium carbonate, which is just like neutralizing these harmful gases to make useful products. From there, I went to Colbert University. And when I first got in the university, I thought it's like a very creative place for making stuff. I just find like people are just studying.
Yeah, that's it.
So the people just want to, So after first year, okay, I was very excited. I thought school was going to be like more of jets and the like.
Yeah.
But in second year, we started doing computer. We had a course in computer science. Yeah, I made it for my first year, natural science. Started doing engineering.
Engineering, yes.
Yeah, and then from there, that's where I got interested in.
So for clarity, what did you study?
I studied mechatronics engineering.
Okay. Yes, great. So you only got to do the computer stuff in second year.
In second year, it's considered the natural. After the natural science, so we had it like a course. It was a course per se. So in that course, we took I don't know, because most of the audience, but anyways, you find out we do things like classes, factions. So you're really interested in tech. You're going to find out what these classes and different programming languages. Although we had C++, yes, it was quite tough, but I was performing really, really well. I think I can say I was one of the top performing people in that particular course. So I really got interested. So after I started programming, I never stopped.
Okay.
From there, started doing websites, started doing facial recognition stuff.
Yeah.
And then I tried to now use Python to solve a problem that I had first before I went to university. So I always talk about this. I think I've posted it a couple of times on my LinkedIn, is that I started to do tomato farming when I just finished because I was very much interested in farming.
All right.
So after doing the tomato farming, I lost, I can say maybe 6% of my yield because I didn't know what to spray.
Yes.
And then when I actually learned about like AI can actually help diagnose diseases,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I started now reading about the convolutional neural networks, how you can use an AI thing to detect what kind of disease it is, and then it can give you
Yes.
kind of a treatment. And that's how, like, again, I diversified to AI. That was my first project I ever created because I actually saw
A
problem.
and
So,
solved it.
yeah, from all the thing I've said around, it's that I'm always trying to solve a particular problem with a particular technology. It's not just I'm learning about this AI.
Yeah.
If it's not really going to create an impact
Yeah.
in other people's lives, then
Yes.
I'm not going to have so much interest in it. But if it can kind of solve a particular problem which I may be facing or other people might be facing, then I'm more likely to try to learn something about it.
Okay. So just before we dive deep into some projects that you've worked on and the conversation that we're going in, I got curious when you mentioned that you were in JETS.
Yes.
And we've been having conversations like around the country where people ask what happens when a person presents a very good project at JETS and this project, like we've been seeing every single year, there's always a child who's impressing.
Yes.
Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5. But then what's the next step after that? Like for you personally, through your experience, what happened after you went to the nationals and came out second? What opportunities did that process open up for you?
I think it was just the awards,
Yes.
and maybe the recognition or something like that. And then people are like, we're going to take this thing further. But to be honest, there's nothing like taking anything further.
Yeah.
We created, that's the truth. We created the first electric car at the Copper Belt University. It was a bars and
Oh, you are part of the
yes, that
do you remember that?
yes, yeah. It's like I was Ep6, chief. How do you call this? The chief technical officer,
Yes.
of the robotics club. Then I was managing the whole project with my friends, of course. And then from there, we made it. The minister talked about it. The school was excited. UNDP started sponsoring us here and there, but where is it now?
Yeah.
That's where everything just, we're excited about something, then all of a sudden we don't do anything. People get busy, nothing. So yeah.
Okay, that's a very. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes.
Because I'd also like to just cross this out while we're still at it. How do you think we can work around that? We've seen this happen time and again
Every year.
in our regime. I don't. It's happened countless times. It's still happening now. So how do you think we can work around it as a nation? How do you think the government can step in, and then the private sector also? How do you think they can step in and just assist in making sure these things do not just stop at that layer? Then
I think the government can allocate, even just $20 million a year to these types of research. Okay, we are going to foster research in this particular area. Our GDP is around $24 billion.
Yes.
So getting a 20 million to imagine we start investing more in electric and we're investing in the youth. Before 5 years elapse, we have something meaningful. I think the problem most of the time is that in Africa, people want us to build startups or ideas that can make money tomorrow. But it's not all the time things happen like that. You look at Amazon, it took 15 years for it to be profitable, and yet
OpenAI, right?
even OpenAI is not making money, but they're still sponsoring it. But here, I think the minister has been talking about it. They want to introduce something like that. Felix Mtati has been talking about how we're going to start investing in startups and people with ideas, even if they are not profitable at that time. Because the model in Africa, even when it comes to banking and most investment, they want you to you are already making money. But not all ideas can make money, but they have a potential to be, billion-dollar ideas.
Okay. That's something interesting. I feel that that approach will go a long way. Also, because if you look at most things affecting the nation now, we're talking about in our previous episodes, we've talked about how Zambia does not have its own data centers and how we do not have our own chatbots, we basically just outsource or just do things
Yeah.
that are not even hours. And so that poses a threat when it comes to the security of the nation.
Yes, very true.
How do we do that? We then do that by what you've just suggested here. We make sure we do our own research. We invest into our own equipment and infrastructure like that. I feel that will go a long way.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. So, another interesting thing I heard as you haven't finished talking about yourself.
Yes.
We are still on you.
I've seen you sort of have experience in business.
Yes.
I'd like you to talk more about that. How you got interested into that?
I do business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you and not just business in tomato, guys. I feel
Yes, it's crazy when I say that, right? Yeah. How is he moving from tomato to
it's not really far away,
Yeah.
but you've seen how he made it link to each other.
Yeah.
He found AI in tomatoes. Okay, so you just tell us more about that.
I think as much as I am a tech person, right?
Yeah.
I think I can say I get the tech part from my father. My father did electrical engineering and stuff, right? So from a young age, I used to see him fix vehicles and do some electrical stuff. So I got a bit of interest in that as well. But fast forward, mom started doing a lot of businesses. So she's also started teaching me about like, oh, this is how you do this. This is how we make profit. Okay, so we do a bit of accounting. And so from there, I think I've been wired in the both kind of balance.
Yeah,
way.
both of
Yeah, where you can see like I can do something in tomatoes and actually sell them off, even though I only made one box of tomato in that particular field.
because of the challenge.
Challenges was my first time actually. So, and the box we just sold it around 300 quad. So we spent around 500. So we actually made the dose, but I was really, really excited.
Yeah.
You know, even if I made doses, I was really excited. I'm like, okay, I am learning. So the next time I'm going to improve. I know that you're not supposed to every week you're supposed to spray your tomatoes. I didn't know all those things.
Yes.
So I kind of learned. And then after the programming part, I started building an e-commerce for school because I actually again saw a problem, you know.
Yeah.
Things are just stuck on walls, like to us. So I wanted to build like a site where we called it Amateur Trade Store. So that's where I actually started my first tech startup. That was in 2022.
Yeah.
Yes, was when I started my startup. That's the first time I actually created an HTML website.
Yes.
It's them, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll send it. It's really lame, but yeah, it was doing the job, you know. And then
As long as you're able to do your stuff.
and then I think the thing that I really liked doing those things is that just start.
That's it.
Just start.
Yeah.
You know, like imagine when someone gives me a product, I used to create a page for that particular product because I didn't know like you can actually do that in a database and then
so
give them the packet. Exactly, it was 100 pages. Exactly.
But IMG tag.
Yes, I was just doing that like that, and then I'm extending the links after links for each particular each particular product. So that's that, and it's school of hard knocks. That's what I'm saying. Always start, you know, and then from there we started doing this, and then we started learning a bit of marketing because you know, like most of us who are coming from the technical background, we are mostly introverted.
We say this a lot.
You know, it's very hard for you to go and learn yourself. But me and my friends, Darius Nyirenda is also one of my co-founders, then Praise Mwanza. But before Praise came in, we were actually working with Darius. So we used to go around the rooms.
Yes.
And then go to knock. You have a business. Yes. I think we have a website.
Right.
Yeah. Most of the people actually bought him. I think the first week we got almost 40 students were quite interested, and they were like, start doing this. We advertised it in the group. People were saying, you know, amazing stuff. I think there was kind of support, but because the website wasn't nicely done.
Yes.
And then you also have school pressure. So I couldn't give it again so much attention. But yeah, we continued for like 2 years until we actually changed our ideas, and then we just started doing things around AI stuff.
So one thing that I can get from this, and I would love everyone to hear, if you're a student while you're in school, that's the best time to try out. That's the best time to create that website that doesn't look good.
Yes.
Because once you're done with school, everyone will expect perfection.
Exactly.
So you need to start building just from within the school environment. And it's a very good place as well to interact with people.
Yes.
Because I can even see that maybe you even have business opportunities now because of the communications and the connections you've used within school. And then everybody knows, oh, so there's Kondwani, he can do this for us. And they can even reach out after that. So it's really important to start developing and building while you're still in school. And I'd even encourage those in high school, create an HTML website right now. Learn about how to connect databases later on while you're at it. There's no perfection to it. Yeah. Do you have?
I like how he's a person that just goes for it. So from the conversation that we've had with him so far, I see him going after it, like regardless from the tomatoes.
Before the tomatoes,
I wanted to bring up the tomatoes a lot, but then there was the jet with the plane that had an ejection seat, all those things. I feel that's something that that people don't overlook.
Yeah,
they just overlook it. Like just starting something goes a long way, because from that you get the motivation to keep at it. To do something better. If you're just from sharing how you made your website, and then now you're able to create something that is way much like 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
Because you took a step. You took the first step. So I'm advising people out there also to just take that from him and just be a person that does it. And then you won't reach perfection the first time you do it, but you it's best to start now. And then what Chimwemwe brought up about, utilizing the environment in university. That's a very good thing. And then what I want to point out is the research aspect of it. Outside, when you're doing research, it requires a lot of things. It requires money. When you're in school, it's just like you have everyone in one place. It's a flow of people. You get to utilize them. You have people that specialize in something. You use them.
Yeah.
And then that's just for free. You just get to discuss. Out here, it's rough pay. So everything go for some things. Yeah, for most things rather. Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out.
And students are also excited to jump on a project. So the moment you have an idea, some people, what they like is the idea, but they want to jump on something. So the moment you share your dream with them and say, guys, let's build an e-commerce for our school, you would be surprised how many people will say, I'm going to jump on it.
Yeah, true.
And then someone would say, because like we are saying, the school environment is so big, you would find that there are people who do marketing for you, developers.
Yes.
Some people, you even have UI developers, you have UI designers, UX designers, back-end engineers, and everyone just falls into place. So that's a very good time to start.
Now, Mr. Kondwani, you tell us more about how you typically go about. Now, you've spoken about your business background.
Yeah.
Now, I just want us to, so we'll try to cover also the business side of things, because we know for sure that what you say there is true. People that are in tech are introverted. If not, they just have flaws when it comes to business, because they put on a lot of effort in being developers, reading designers, and all these things. So now, how would you go about selling a product now that you've had this experience?
Selling a product.
So you have a product idea. You have it ready. Let's say you have a prototype.
Yes.
How would you go about selling it?
Okay.
As an example, you can use your AI tool for the tomatoes.
Yes.
So you just
So now, not for your tomatoes, but for trying to find a client.
So that can
Okay. I think the first step about doing any business, to be honest, running a startup is quite difficult.
Yes.
So like you guys are doing a podcast, it's really awesome because you're able to share some workloads. Maybe someone is doing this, someone else is doing that.
Yes.
It also comes to a startup. I'm not running the business alone. Most of the time, we want to own 100% of everything.
Yes.
No, this is my idea. This is my... No, give people, people... To be honest, in my company, we all have eco share. This is my co-founders. Like eco shares. Why have eco shares? We're going to have eco responsibilities, and we are going to have equal liabilities.
Yeah.
And people trust me, they are going to put in the best because they know this, they're building something that is theirs.
Yes.
But if you tell them to say, no, I want to give you a small percentage and whatever, oh no, this is my big idea. Some people would want to give you 5%. I'm like, why am I going to put in so much effort in the 5%?
I'm going to be putting
when I
1%
can actually do my own thing, you know what I mean? So once you have a team, the most important thing about a business is a team. And then for a team, identify what you're really good at. Some people are good at marketing.
Yeah.
Some people are good at talking to people. Some people are good at developing. Some people are good at, like, for example, we have, our chief security officer, Paul. He just comes out and say, Kondwani, I'm not like you. I'm not a person who can be out there. No, me, I like being in a quiet, in the shadows and coding and doing. But of course, he started coming out, but he honestly tells me I'm not the outdoor type of person. So he is really, really good at what he does. And he's going to focus on that, I've got other people that are, praise. I think he can talk properly to people and stuff like that. So he has a certain role to actually handle clients and all these things. I also do handle clients and stuff like that. But for me, it's like, I'm the one who's trying to think in a strategic kind of way. What are we going to do? What are we going to do what? And then everyone is kind of balancing something in and out. And then if you're solving a particular problem, be out there. Nowadays we have LinkedIn or Facebook. We have all these sites. Talk about what you are doing and people are going to bite in. And then if you're trying to sell something, you have built a particular product, go to people. I think at Uniplex today first, we have almost 30 users.
Yeah.
Most of them, trust me, we went knocking on their offices. Yes, we have this. I think it can help you. Of course, we got a lot of no's.
Yeah, I know that.
Yes. It's a lot of no's.
No, say at 4, no, every 100.
Yeah.
I feel safe. I like to say this, that are like prospects.
Yes, for sure. Yes. So we got a lot of no's. And then we got yeses as well. And then those yeses made our product again become better. When you are building, especially, I think I'll talk in the tech sense, because if you're selling a laptop, for example, it's already a finished product. As long as you can find the market, you're gonna sell it. But when it comes to technology, it's a different ballgame. The moment you take that up into people's hands, they're going to start pointing out.
That's when you identify
exactly. Exactly. And then sometimes as developers, we're going to build a particular feature. You think it's like a really awesome feature. And then give your website to people. You find that they are using this, even the features that you don't even like.
Yeah.
But that feedback is really important so that you can keep iterating your product with those particular features that people like, and then you keep making them better. Yeah.
And
that is where updates come from. But
yeah, that's why it comes. And a lot of people think, so if I build a system for a company, it means that our deal is done.
Yes.
Give it to them.
Yeah.
They use it, then we are done. But in most cases, they'll be identifying a lot of flaws in your system and saying, okay, we need this, we need that, we need this. And you keep on working. That's how you maintain lifelong clients like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is good. These are good tips. Although what you've delivered is really good, but I want to ask, in a case where somebody really doesn't have like everyone that you've mentioned in the team, they are working with a few people.
Yes.
And they just want to start selling now. What's the best approach that they can start taking? I know you've talked about knocking on doors. What would be another way that a person can use, aside from just like going door to door and knocking? What would be a better way of selling? And I think what I'm trying to drive to is we've noticed that a lot of businesses in Zambia, tech businesses, are focusing on B2B. So if I ask you, even your clients, much of them are businesses.
B2B, yes.
Yeah. So now, what's the hard part when it comes to B2C? Because consumers are missing out on a lot of opportunities that are in tech.
Okay.
I feel that also creates a stereotype about how good we are informed as Zambian tech people. Like, oh, in Zambia, we're not that good. Meanwhile, the people that are just as good, it's just that they are operating on a B2B.
Yes.
Because the end users, the clients, the C's are not really,
No, they're missing out.
They don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like, you asked me about I just knew about Uniplex because it's B2B.
B2B, yes.
Yeah, so how would you suggest?
I think for B2C, it matters whom you're trying to target at the end of the day. I think the businesses that I actually started with are B2Cs, Hammer Trade, and then we also did something around using AI, like when AI was just coming out, even before ChatGPT had like, you can upload folders and files. We actually started doing that before all these companies. So we created the site. People were able to upload unlimited amount of images, photos, and PDFs, docs. And then the AI was able to help them, when they're answering the questions, even during exams. So again, we started moving into classes. We introduced the system. Quite right. This we had, I think, 4,000 people visiting our site almost on a monthly basis, just from CBO. Okay. Yes, but the conversion rate for them to pay the head factor we wanted is quite, So I've tried the B2B businesses, so it's a bit not favorable in my experience. Let's say when someone else shouldn't do it. Yes. The reason I think we are mostly targeting B2B is that we are trying to solve business pain points.
Yes.
Okay, and then once you solve that particular business pain point, those people are going to pay. Again, when you're trying to build a startup or a business, especially in Africa, I had thousands of people using my website, but we were not sustainable.
Yes.
So as a CEO and founder, I need to make sure that our company is sustainable. So if I'm gonna make my company sustainable, we need to be paid.
Yes.
So it's not like a Silicon Valley where you can have 1 million users and then few people are paid.
Yes.
Like ChatGPT, there's millions of users and yet spending cash. Like in Africa, that can't really work unless you have got a VC back in your ads.
Yes.
So most of the time, we're going to go to a B2B kind of business model so that you can keep sustaining yourselves, you can pay rent and solve 1 or 2 problems.
And we have this bad perception in the country where people expect tech products to be free. I don't know if you've observed that. Yeah. So there are a few people that are going to pay for subscriptions, movie. They want movie box.
Yeah.
So the moment you say, guys, I'm introducing a movie app and you'll be paying even a 5 quarter a month, that's going to be like a big deal for a lot of people. And I think I get why most tech businesses are moving to B2B. Because if you look at even companies like .com, they started with an e-commerce website.
Yeah.
Eventually, we thought they've disappeared, only to realize they're working B2B now.
Yeah.
So that's really what's going on. This now drives the conversation to artificial intelligence. I want to talk about opportunities that we have in the AI space here in Africa, because I read an article that you once posted.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a week ago, right?
Yes, I think it's
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Why do you think Africa's AI opportunities are not in the distant future, but they are here right now?
Like recently from reports, I think I was currently reading something that the World Bank released.
Yes.
And then also Mackenzie's reports. I do read a lot of stuff. So they were like recently in South Africa, but even here in Zambia, a lot of companies are using generative AI.
Yes.
Software companies are using generative AI. Government institutions are using generative AI. So if we are currently using generative AI to become more productive, respond more to emails, we apply to more opportunities. And as for example, me, who's a software guy, we're able to ship products faster. So it's actually creating, more opportunities. So we've become 80% more productive. We're spending less because we already have this kind of AI doing some of our heavy lifting, when it comes to coding, creating content. So sometimes even my images, maybe I want to put on a white sheet, I just upload this in Gemini and say, put on a white sheet, so I don't have to spend a lot of time trying to take pictures.
Yes.
So I think in those areas, AI is really, really doing some amazing things. So with that being said, that is a lot of opportunities. If it can make me very productive, imagine if that can apply to a farm, to a nurse at a hospital, to someone who's running even a cataract shop, a business, you know what I mean? So if every kind of business is using AI to become more productive, and I'll just give a simple math. If AI can just make us even 2% more productive as a country, just 2%, that is $480 million added to the Zambian economy.
Yes.
Just 2%. Farmers become more productive, businesses become more productive, software companies we are more releasing more products. Our detection for what is suspicious fraudulent activities become. So imagine it's been applied in all these areas. Just 2% is adding around that amount of money. So you can imagine now, multiply that across the whole entire continent.
Yes,
it can increase our GDP and then make our things become more productive and more efficient.
So would you say that as Africans, we are not really taking advantage of the full capabilities that AI offers us?
Yes, we are not. Because the rate at which we are adopting to technologies, it's quite slow. Of course, we have a lot of barriers, like the same thing I was telling before I was coming to say, my NVN network just stopped working, and then I had to stop at the filling station, then restart my phone and change networks and then start coming over here, So how are we going to utilize AI when we have listening community? I think, we need to point out if you are really problems. I'm not saying we can't solve them.
Yes,
we can solve them. So I think if we can improve our infrastructure in terms of creating more towers, there's this time there's Starlink.
Yeah.
I think Airtel is partnering with Starlink.
With Starlink, yeah.
A good move. We have a lot of Starlinks around. We increase. I think Dangote recently came into the country saying we can use coal. Of course, it's going to have one or two negative effects, but we need the electricity. So I think all those things. I think there's Zambia is having one of the largest now. Before the previous years, we're having more in terms of productive, more solar modules installed as previously. So I think we are making strides, but I think we can do more. And the adoption rate, even when it comes to government, I think they are adopting, but I think it's really, really slow. They're like moving progressively. But if you look at how aggressive these countries are, like in the United States, they are already using Grok in an anytime.
Yeah.
So definitely they're using Palantir in monitoring their police forces, making sure that people are not committing crimes and all those things. So they are actively using artificial intelligence in various workflows in industries, in manufacturing industries. But you find that when you go, for example, to these manufacturing hubs in Zambia, they're still operating in an old way. Go to a small shop, find that they are still recording things on their paper, and they don't realize the value of actually converting that information that they have into a digital format so that they can make.
That's what the playing this mean. And record the then they have books, and then they're doing that very balance. Like it's very why are you looking of the balance?
And it also brings us back to the B2C thing. You might find that somebody has got a solution for those guys, and they'll just say, no, like, I've been doing work like this. Why should I be paying you money?
We actually been approaching people like that. So you find that there are people that are just resistant to these things because they don't realize it. But they're like, no, I already take this. You are like, no, you can actually, we created something called an image capture. We can just capture any transaction on any page, and then it's converted to an Excel, and from an Excel to a database. So that's how we do it, yes. And then people are able to track sales in that format because we understand the problem. So most businesses that are quite a bit bigger, they really understand and they want to use. But they are resistive and they're like, no, we already have how we do things, and I think that's what stands both ends and both. And I always say, we'll give a story about communication, right?
Yes.
Like back in the day when people used to communicate using drums and then smoke signals and all those things. And then now we have telephones. It would be so ignorant of you to start drumming. Instead of making a call, like in this day and age. That's what categorize those types of people. So now, using AI, you are an AI expert. I'd like just to hear from you how you feel. I know the government isn't leveraging AI as it should, as the United States government is using AI. But from what you've seen so far, since the inception of AI, since its since it came. How do you feel? Because if you listen to the speeches that are being given, if we're being honest, no, government is using AI in this, and that. You being an AI professional, what do you feel that is? No. Do you feel that is true, 100% true? And then, what are some of the things that you can point out and say this is where we're using AI and something that is visible to an everyday person out there, as opposed to the B2B thing where in the background, only the people on the inside know that we're using it.
Yeah. Yes. I think I had a privilege to talk to like different people in different backgrounds, people working in certain government institutions. Find that some of these people they don't know that you can they don't know what a deep search mode is. Okay, when it comes to actually using AI. Yes. Just take the chatbot. I'm not even talking about like having a dedicated workflow in your organization, right? Just like deep search and how to maneuver around, yes, on the same ChatGPT. Yeah, a lot of people have done all these things. And some people just say, I just use it for emails. You can use it for a lot of things. Yeah. How to strategize.
Why are you limiting yourself?
You can give it hundreds of documents that you have and then try to understand what is in that particular document, Nowadays, someone sends you a contract, for example. You just give it to an AI, tell it, okay, give me the pointers that are in this document, and then you also let me those one. Or maybe there are certain ways that you didn't understand. You wanted to explain those kind of things to you in a more simplified kind of way. I think AI has just the generative, there are a lot of types of AIs, but just the generative is really making a lot of impact, but still people are not utilizing AI to the fullest when it comes to like just the government using AI. I'm not saying they are not using it; they are using it, but I don't think it's to that capabilities. Do we have workflows in AI? The bridge in Chipata Fair. Do we have sensors placed in all different areas, and then how we collecting all that data is, we have a lot of old buildings, we have a lot of there's a lot of stockpiles of old records, 1990 something. Have we digitalized those documents? Yes. And are we getting insights from those documents, So, all those issues. Have we converted those records into business? So then are we trying to analyze and build predictive models around that? We can just go to a hospital and then we collect all the data for like when people were born and when people died, and then we collect all that data and then we analyze what diseases are killing people the most, why they die. Was it because of this particular political period that maybe they didn't have a good economy, so people had to die? Hunger. What was it? What was the problem? Yeah. So, like just analyzing that amount of data will give you more insights. And, it's also going to give more decision makers that are going to come forward in the future, politicians and, these government workers. They're going to see, this is what used to happen in the past. So if we continue making decisions like this, we'll destroy the economy, we'll bring up this, maybe we didn't handle this particular period properly. So learning from the past, can, make us do certain things better in the future. That is a power of AI. Now imagine if AI is placed in the political system where people committing crimes, we put it in schools, and all these major sectors. How much information can you get from it, and how much intelligence can you make decisions going in the future? Could you make better decisions? Because we have seen what is happening in the past, and we now know that what is going to likely happen in the future if we make the same decisions.
Do you think that one of the reasons why maybe the government isn't adopting as much artificial intelligence, they are adopting?
Yes.
Yeah, they even have like an AI strategy.
Yeah.
But do you feel like one of the reasons why they're not really adopting it as much is maybe security concerns? Because if we look at most of the large language models that are available right now, can we even say that we have any large language model developed within the country?
No.
So would you say that they are scared of giving out information to countries like the United States and China? Because already if we use DeepSeek, for instance, we are technically giving China our information.
I think, talking on that part about security, I think I was saying this with my founders. I think that's this the other thing. No, there are certain things that we need to run locally and stuff like that.
Yes.
Your PC is not the Zambia made thing. So do you know the vulnerabilities that it has?
Yeah.
Your phone, for example, just say we're using Gmail and everything around Google. Yes, people in the government are still using that.
Gmail, yeah.
Do you think Google
I know for sure. No, I knew it all because there is no way. I just search for something, and then like I'm having a conversation with someone.
Yeah.
Like they would say, no, there's also privacy law, not listening to. So I just have my phone with me, and then at some point that phone was off. But not the battery was there, but
Yeah,
it was off. So now you're having a conversation. I would like to have this. You even specify. Maybe it's a pizza. It's a pizza. Maybe it should be chicken and mushroom and all that. Okay. Conversation dies out. You reach home, you switch on your phone. First ad. Pizza, chicken and mushrooms.
So they are utilizing data. So I think on the security part, we are going to become more, and yes, we can try to make things in a more secure way.
Yeah.
But if we're really going to be, have that certainty to say we're secure, it's the technology needs to belong to us.
Yes.
Is the language inbuilt? Is the computer that's been the military?
The chips they are using.
Is the chip that they are using? Is it African made? As long as it's not African made, it's not guaranteed. There's still, I don't know if you guys did electronic things, like there's an ESP32 chip that you can program, it connects to the internet. It's like a small microcontroller computer. Recently it was released, I was actually reading an article about it. They said that they have a backdoor in it.
Okay.
There is a backdoor in an ESP32. And I use my ESP32 to, create monitoring system for farms and when we're building prototypes. So they do have a backdoor and they're able to see what you are doing. So how many devices are like that? Because companies will say, no, there's no backdoor. But even when you read most reports, there are backdoors in most of these companies. Huawei had the backdoor from China, all those kind of things. So governments will deny it, but we all know for a fact that for security issues, they need to know what people are doing in some degree. So is there a guarantee that there won't be any security issues? Of course there will be. We are not the one creating the netted switches. We're not the one.
Yes. So there's no long as we're not the ones.
Yes.
They're always going to be.
There's always going to be.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's just that how now can we use AI to accelerate our growth? Because AI, it can do scientific research fast. Or you just put your ChatGPT in deep search mode, and then you ask the ChatGPT to say, I'm researching about this. Please read papers from 1001 maybe to 2026, right? It will read and it will create those pointers for each paper. And then from there, you can ask the AI, what are the gaps that you've seen?
Yeah.
So instead of you reading hundreds and hundreds of papers, the AI can read for you. And then you find the gap. You get that gap and then you continue, expanding that gap. So imagine how many papers can now be released in the world. Today, like, I'm into the AI space. I'm even exhausted reading the papers. Every day someone has released a paper. Yeah. There's a memory problem. No, this one is saying we can make them like this. We can make them ingest information through the states. So they are just like a lot of research coming out, especially years to follow, so you have to be really up to date. It's a really fastest growing kind of industry and people are releasing papers back and forth. So can't we also do that as a country? How many patterns are we making around artificial intelligence? Now we have AI, it can make us create formulas. It does all these things. I do create formulas using the same AIs when I'm doing certain type of research. So imagine if more people can be doing that, how much information and how much, patterns are we going to be releasing out there? We are also going to be contributing to the bigger, where we want to take AI, if there's something in ethics, how can we add those things there?
Yes.
We are saying in Africa, we don't have a lot of models. Can you create a Nyanja, Bemba model, Tonga, Lozi, Ila, and all these kind of languages? Can you put them together and we create models around that? So I think there's a lot of
It's good that you've mentioned that because I was coming to that. Yeah. Um, what I want to ask, and this is, I believe, one of our last questions. Yeah, if not the last one.
Yeah.
You might have a few follow-up questions with this, like this.
Yeah.
So, how do you think we can build now? Africa is different from other continents. We have what's called culture that needs to be sustained throughout generations.
Yes.
How do you think we can work with AI and still maintain
To
our
preserve.
culture and preserve our culture in this age of AI and high tech?
I think it's a matter of like inclusion. Like who are saying we can add things like can we integrate I'm a Tumbuka, for example, can we integrate the Tumbuka language and yes, certain parts of my culture, and then we integrate it into that. For example, if you look at AI models, when you tell them to generate a certain image, is it putting on that, those cultural wares that we
need
put
that,
on?
yeah.
So can we get pictures of that, hundreds of them, compile them together, and then put them in an AI model? When you search how did Tumbukas wear they dress, and it brings that out. How do lozy people do their particular stuff, and it brings that out. And then, like that way we are going to preserve. I think it's through mostly data collection, our languages, our past history. We have, like for us, we even know certain diseases, for example.
Yeah.
Like there are certain herbs you can use for particular things, and they do work. And someone will be like, no, they don't really do it. They do it. There are certain things that do work, So can we also get that? Oh, there's this herb that can help. So can we also report that as well? Yes. So we have been collecting data at Uniplex here on that particular part. Yes. But I think we can do more. We can collect images. You can compile. I think we've been building and researching around multilingual systems. Yes, we have built something in Yanja and Bemba.
Yeah.
But our plan is that can we also include even other languages? In Zambia, we have almost, is it 72?
72.
So if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
can we?
Something that is summed up.
Yeah.
We can selling it as as sort of like an API for a lot of systems.
Exactly.
And one thing that I feel like is hard when it comes to us preserving our culture in AI is the lack of documentation. We've been dependent on all oral transmission of culture. So it's your grandmother telling your mother tells you, as a child, you tell your children, and the story will keep on changing.
Yeah.
We don't do much documentation. But if there are any recorded documentation that we have, we can simply convert them into electronic and feed AI systems for that, and we can keep our culture and preserve it. And we do need to do so.
We have
The country, yes.
because we'll lose it. We won't know what used to happen a long time.
Yeah.
How people used to trace it.
Big down time.
Exactly. So like if with the AI thing is I think I've been actually saying that AI is a type of technology that can make a lot of things immortalized. Because even let's say 100 years from now, if someone searches how did people used to dress a long time ago in Zambia, how's the culture like in 2025?
Death.
Yes, we used to lie. Something like that. So, and then it brings all these things up. Oh, there's also a time they had Corona. Then this is where things were. Even Lusaka is going. Trust me, Lusaka is going to transform. So, are we taking the data now and then putting everything together, and then all of a sudden we're able to see how things are being graduated, improving, and then if someone just went to type AI can generate how this happens to look at this maybe 50 years from now,
Yes.
and then they have a better context to what this was, how it was looking. Oh, it's how much we are coming from. This is where we are coming from. This and stuff like that. Because now, if you say how was Zambia looking like in the 19 something years, you just have few picture, few data, and how the culture was at that particular time. So if we can record that, I think then also we immortalize our culture and present it.
I'm noticing a lot of pain points, a lot of problems.
Yes.
Like I used speak.
Yes.
I'm just realizing that if we have our own thing going on, we wouldn't have it will be so strong in the future if we start now.
Yeah.
Collecting data now. And I don't want to get into the details.
You know the good part about AI, even with generative AI, even without like a lot of images from the past, if we still have people who lived during that time, they can still generate an image and they can be like, yeah, we had something like this. Yeah, so before they are completely gone, we need to use them.
Yes. Maybe use them. They're wiped out.
Yes, before they are wiped out.
I've been asking, other people like, what kind of medicine can you use to treat a sore like this?
Yes.
And then also I've been collecting data.
Yes.
Like there's those, they cut my flowers that grow along the wall of the house.
Yes.
They actually use when you get a burn, those things that release to my mucus, but they put red this, and then when you hit them and then you apply them, they heal you really well. Like my grandma used to do that for me. So I've been able to like capture it and then write description of what thing actually does. So you guys, we have older people, and you guys, we have older people out there. Let's talk to them. Go on Uniplex the data set, upload that information. Let's preserve our culture together. We're not making any money from that, but I think it's like we can do something about it, and we started doing something about it. You guys, let's do something about it. Have a lot of culture. If you have your own ideas, start doing something around that. If you have your own ideas, start doing something around so that we contribute together as a community to preserve our culture.
Okay. Mr. Kondwani, it's been nice having you.
Thank you very much. You as well.
Yeah, it's been a good conversation. Yeah.
It's been a good one. Hopefully we're able to have you again to advise on other topics that we might have come up with at the time. But it's been really good. I found it really edifying.
Yes.
Having you here, the business side of things, as the application side of things. That was the most interesting part for me. I don't know about you, James.
And also the business side was exciting. But one thing is that even with AI, just yesterday we were recording a conversation on AI, and today we just had like a whole complete different conversation. So it's surprising how deep this is.
It's very vast because it's one of the so he's also AI expert. Like, what are we going to?
What are we gonna hear?
It's maybe they'll be too similar, but it's a whole different. Now that we've had the conversation, but we hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. We're just going to leave a link in the description and other contact details if you need to get in touch. With Uniplexity. And just get to know more about Uniplexity. Get in touch with him or at least also reach out if anything. But from me, Sai, and my co-host James,
and our guest Kondwani,
we'll see you in the next one.
See you guys.
Yeah.